As someone who has a very big fear of being stranded at sea in just open water, there was a lot of rough parts of this movie. Dunkirk is written and directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Mark Rylance, Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, Cillian Murphy, and Harry Styles, and tells the heroic story of the rescue of hundreds of thousands of British soldiers by normal, everyday British civilians off the island of Dunkirk in Belgium during World War II. With any big-name director like Christopher Nolan, any film they put out there is going to be hyped immensely. And with his last two films, The Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar, I felt they just couldn't live up to that hype. But with that said, I felt like Dunkirk was a return to the Christopher Nolan we all knew and loved, and it lived up to the hype that it deserved. In Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan is able to build the tension of war through some few things. One is the lack of dialogue. There is very little spoken word throughout the film, and this leads the tension to be built because all we see is just the pain on the actors' faces and the sense of fear, and it just helps build the story so much. And the next is a use of a timer. In the trailer, you heard it going, and it carries throughout the film just a tick, 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 tick that always seems like it's building something, and sometimes it doesn't. It's in the back of a scene, and it doesn't build anything. But sometimes it leads to this huge moment, and it just always keeps you suspenseful as if something's always going to happen at any time. And the cinematography throughout Dunkirk is outstanding. It is the same cinematographer Christopher Nolan used for Interstellar, and there are so many shots throughout the film that I would just take and put as a picture on my wall because they are beautiful. There is one amazing shot of Tom Hardy in a plane, which was just breathtaking to see, but there's just so many things, just the way they capture the wartime, of the look on the people's faces I was saying, but also there was some hints of shaky cam throughout the movie where like they were running, and it was just really well done to build the sense of war. And the lack of dialogue throughout the film puts a lot of pressure on the actors to give an amazing performance to be able to propel this story just through their acting and their facial expressions and their body language, and everyone did a great job. Everyone was freaking out about Harry Styles, but he was great in the film. Tom Hardy was really good. His character, besides from Mark Rylance, probably had the most dialogue, so he was able to build through that, but he was great as the pilot. And then Mark Rylance, as I was saying, was just outstanding as his role as a civilian going to save them. You could just tell the sense of love he had for his country throughout his character, and it was just amazing to see. But on the flip side of that, my only major problem with Dunkirk is it is hard to create a connection with some of the characters. Besides from Mark Rylance and Tom Hardy, just the normal British soldiers that we follow, it's hard to connect with because we don't know anything about them. All we know is they're British soldiers, and yeah, we're rooting for them because they're on the good side of the war and we want to see them get off this island, but it's just hard to make a personal connection with the characters knowing very little about them. And I guess this is a little spoiler, but I can't really spoil this because it's history, it's already happened, but when the sailors come to the island to save these soldiers, it is one of my favorite movie moments of the year so far. The Hans Zimmer score kicks in, and just look on everyone's faces, it was such a feel-good moment. It was just an amazing movie moment to see, and easily one of my favorite of the year so far. And with that, my final verdict for Dunkirk is it was amazing. If you just recently started watching my videos, you probably think this is the only rating I give out because I think the past 5 films have gotten it, but we're just in a great stretch of the summer movie season, which is just so great to see because last year it was terrible movie after terrible movie throughout the summer, and it's just great to see some great summer movies, and then a smaller movie like Dunkirk's not a small movie, but a smaller story movie of Dunkirk just in the mix with these big blockbusters, and it's an amazing film that you should go check out. I unfortunately haven't seen it in IMAX yet, but once I go see it in IMAX, I can only think I'm going to like it even more, just seeing this amazing visuals on the biggest screen you can. It should be great. And as always, thank you for watching. Also, please hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see some more videos from me, comment down below if you've seen Dunkirk and what's your thoughts on it. And this week, I was lucky enough to be a guest on the podcast GVO, which we talked about movies and music, and there's a link down in the description below, so go check that out, and thanks for watching.